Good morning, everyone. Once again, this is Black Forest coming to you with another currency breakdown market analysis for the USDJPY. But before we get started, break down this currency pair and this chart, we have to say that this video is for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice, but we all know why you guys are here. You guys are here to find good, credible Forex content that can help improve your ability as a trader and to help put a little bit of extra money into your pocket. Okay. Why work why work hard when we would do the hard work for you? All you got to do is simply just watch the videos, listen to the content, and just apply it and make the money. Okay. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started and break down this currency pair and this chart. Okay. So let's before we get talk about the technical analysis, what's happening on the chart, let us discuss what is happening with the currencies itself. Okay, we'll discuss what's happening with the JPY. Now, even though the JPY is still classified as technically one of our stronger currencies fundamentally, it is starting out the trading week behaving as if it's one of our weaker ones. But this just may be due to the last overall haul push. It's last like the last little bit of weakness before it starts to really start acting in its strength. Okay, because we did have a lot of good fundamental news, economic news come out about the JPY during the latter part of last trading week, even though it started off in this trading week as we were going and looking like one of our stronger currencies, but once the chart started moving, it started behaving as one of our weaker ones. And I think this is solely due to that JPY is gaining strength, but it's just not gaining strength as fast as traders would like it to be. So due to that, it started to behave as one of our weaker currencies. Okay, so JPY is going to be a little bit of tricky call because from a fundamental standpoint, we've had some positive news come out about the JPY. We do not have no news coming out about the JPY until let's see, when's the next time some news comes out about the JPY? We don't have any news coming out about the JPY for this entire trading week. So the only news that we do have to rely, economic news we do have to rely on, is the news that came out during the latter part of last trading week, which was very positive for the JPY. So technically, it is classified as one of our stronger currencies, but it is behaving in a manner that is demonstrating weakness, especially against the other seven major currencies. So we're going to have to see how this plays out with the JPY and kind of sit and wait kind of standpoint. Okay, but from a technical for technically from looking at the economic news, JPY is classified as strong. This can just be what we're seeing on the charts is this the larger players are actually putting themselves in a position to get a better price before before the JPY strength starts to kick in. So that is also a possibility we have to look at as well. Okay. Now let us discuss what is happening with the USD. The USD is still going into today as one of our stronger currencies coming into during the beginning part of this trading week. We did not have a lot of USD news on Monday. We do have a lot of USD news coming out around 8:30 Eastern time, just prior to the opening of the New York session that's going to be dealing with the CPI. So this is going to be very important to watch to see what's going to happen with these numbers and see how these numbers are going to affect the charts respectively. Okay. Also, but prior to the news coming out today, we've had a lot of positive news come out about the USD. Last trading week, we had more positive news than negative news come out about the USD was showing it to be strong, and also we've seen a drop in the gas prices as well too, which is giving consumers more money to spend in the economy because they're not spending the money in the pumps. So that also strengthening the USD as well. Now we're going to see how, like I said, we're going to have to see how these things play out depending on what time you're watching this video. So currently we're doing this video just around 8 o'clock Eastern time. So we're going to have to see how this plays out with the USD once the CPI news starts to drop. Okay. But currently, as of right now, the USD is still at the beginning of this trading week, is behaving as one of our stronger currencies and is still gaining strength. Now, the JPY is gaining strength, but it is acting as one of our weaker currencies going into in the beginning of this trading week. But that can almost be a ruse so larger players like the big banks can be putting themselves in a better position before the strength of the JPY kick in. Okay. So with that being said, now let's break down what is happening on this chart. Okay, so we were going up, 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 but now like this, we're looking like we're losing momentum because we did have an up move, but we did not really break this area here as aggressively as we would like, as we kind of broke this area here, broke this area here, or broke this area here. So we're kind of slowing down. So we are going to be anticipating a drop. It's just about how far the drop is going to go. We can drop as far as here, as far as here, or even as far as here before we start the range and start to pick up. Okay, so we're going to be anticipating a drop. We can range out, drop here, range out from here, and drop here or even here before we start to range out, possibly start to pick back up to go back up towards the long side, or possibly have a pathetic push up that will go towards the short side. But that right there is more of long term to intermediate planning. For the short term, going into the next several trading sessions, we're going to be looking at an anticipating drop where the price may drop to either here or may even here just before we start to see it range out again. So I would be anticipating a short-term drop now, unless the fundamentals start to drastically change over, in which the USD starts becoming much, much, much weaker and starts to lose all its newfound strength again, and the JPY starts to accelerate and picking up its strength. Then I don't really see the chart just going and just turning over. What I believe is going to happen, we're going to drop to here or even here or even here before we see a change in the fundamentals that's going to dictate the rest of the direction that this chart's going to go. But for the short term, looking like we're going to range out here, drop, we could just drop here, but the pricing areas will be either the drop point, the short gold price areas will be here, here, or this area here. Okay, hope that information was helpful for you guys. Happy trading.